Well, already very interesting considering that you have the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands in the same reading. Now, as you guys see here, we have the concept of the Three of Cups, or the Three of Cups, 3 card reading. Now, it's something that we offer on our website. But also, guys, the Queen of not the Queen of Wands. Jesus, I really want to jump in this reading. The 3 cards here represent the past, present, and future in this reading. So, but as you know, right, we usually use this on our website for an objective overview, a very big, broad overview in regards to one area, because it can mean so many different things. But I would decide to, we decided here, well, I decided to add a bit more of a layer to it, so that way it's a little bit more in depth, that way it gives a little bit more texture. And it's more specific. So there's an internal and an external portion. These are what the 2 cards represent here underneath each section of the parts that we're reading. And there's always going to be advice here in the present, so don't you worry about that. Now let's go ahead and jump into this, because I've been dying to say the Queen of Wands for like the last minute or so. So you guys here have in the past the Queen of Wands. So you guys are very confident in yourselves. You guys are very, putting out content, being very creative potentially. You guys are really giving off the vibes of knowing, of getting things done and doing what you need to do in your situation. Not taking any crap either. So you guys are very assertive and very direct and very on top of your stuff, right? On top of everything. Putting action towards, pointing towards the projects that you've got going on currently and in the relationships that you have. You also potentially feeling very passionate about your relationship romantically. And I really feel like, honestly, guys, with this Queen of Wands energy, you guys were really feeling that, like the intimacy in yourself and with your partner. And I feel like it's really good, but ultimately there's a lot of passion that came out from you. Now in the present, you have Justice. So right now you're trying to gain some balance. Potentially this is karmic balance, balancing the scales. Someone could be coming back to apologize, or there could be some honestly some course corrections happening at this time. For a lot of you guys, or for some of you guys out there, you guys could be dealing with a legal suit at this time or something in regards to the law. There is also potentially some sort of marriage that could be happening for some of you guys. Considering what's happening here, you guys could be getting married, which is, honestly, if that's the case, congratulations. And honestly, guys, I don't see a divorce here, so I'm not going to say it. I do get the sense, though, that there is, there is a union of hearts here in a very big way. Now, in the future, you have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is indicating fun to me. Someone that's that comes in, brings in passion and excitement and new ideas, new ways of, spicing up life. I do get the sense, though, this individual has a hard time settling down, being committed, or handling serious situations. So this could be in Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. They don't particularly, these characteristics are just characteristics of the card, not the sign. So the individual could be, could have a hard time turning off the fun switch, and or this is really just talking about celebrating and enjoying the relationship that you guys have, which is absolutely wonderful. Now, this could also be renewing vows. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into this here. With the Queen of Wands in the past, being passionate, going out and doing whatever you need to do, being very action oriented, feeling very confident, and having an energy and vibe so high that you attract people, because you could be considered very popular and very well known. So I feel like this is internally you want to kind of keep to yourself. Honestly, the energy, being in your power is wonderful, and knowing that you're able to manifest whatever you're trying to manifest is awesome. It's great, and it really does build your confidence internally. And I feel like at the same time, you understand how much you're worth. You know what you're worth, honestly, and you take it very seriously. Most importantly, but at the same time, you don't want to share yourself with anybody. You don't want to give yourself to anybody. You want to honestly stay very private, very close to the people that you are very much familiar with, rather than to expand per se. But in the past, there was a lot of expansive energy. There's a lot of, because the Queen of Wands, she doesn't just she doesn't hold back. She's very expressive, and she's very outgoing, and she's very her vibe is so high that she does gather people around. She does share her energies with others. So I do get this feeling that yes, you potentially had to be more open and be more, passionate. And you guys had your vibes very high, so you guys potentially, you kids could potentially, attract the people. But at the same time, I feel like you want to kind of keep to yourself. Like you guys, honestly, you guys want to make, you want to be private. You want to have your own personal space. And with the Queen of Wands, she doesn't really have a lot of personal space. She's a good with other people. But at the same time, you may not be much of a people person, if that's, fair to say. Not in the sense where you guys have to sacrifice your personal boundaries and your personal space. But ultimately, I feel like you understand your worth more so than wanting to be private and wanting to be separate from others. You understand your worth and you know how much you're worth. And I feel like you understand that to the point where you can feel good about yourself. Now, externally, you have the Knight of Swords. So I feel like you have been speaking your truth. You have been making your truth very known. You've been going out there, laying down the law with how you are, what you believe, and what you will and will not tolerate. So you've been very open about how you guys think, which is not a bad thing at all. So communicating and being very honest, it could be aggressive potentially because you're the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Those two energies can be very harsh and very aggressive. But it is done now, right? You did what you needed to do. You communicated what your truth was, and you let it out then and there. And I feel like that honestly built your confidence as well, because you felt very confident in speaking your truth to people. Okay. Now, presently, you have Justice. So Justice is indicating, like I said, a union of hearts, karmic correction, balance being restored, or it could be an apology, but I don't think it's an apology. I most importantly feel like there is a marriage happening, because the Ten of Pentacles is commitment on steroids, and it's such a magnificent card. But I honestly feel like you do have a union of hearts here. You do have marriage potentially coming up. This is contracts, right? This is the card for Libra and contracts. So for a lot of you guys, if this is not marriage, this is possibly locking down on a home, moving in together, but making some sort of balance or some sort of agreement with someone, or closure with someone that is made you internally feel very stable and something that you can truly commit to and build a legacy from. And I feel like honestly you are in the process of living out your legacy. You're making things out, you're making plans, not necessarily making plans, but you're setting out to work on the plans that you have for the future. So I think that's a good sign. I feel like you feel very grounded, most importantly. Like you feel very supported and very grounded. You're possibly even surrounded by family, but there's some sort of agreement that you have potentially about starting a family. And you may feel very, supported and loved and secure in your situation, as well as ready to expand it. Now, with the Queen of Pentacles, you have, you look as though you are very stable in yourself as well. You're very committed. You're very hardworking. You're very loyal. And it's very apparent, it's being broadcasted out there that you are very hardworking and a loyal individual that's willing to settle down and make this work, because you have agreements, that you have deadlines that you like to stick to. There's some things that you are, you're really serious about. And I feel like this seriousness is coming out is really what's being shown and broadcast to the world. So that's not a bad thing at all. I really feel it's really good. The advice I have for you though, in regards to the situation, is that be careful about how much you do. Not necessarily that it's bad to put in out, pump out stuff, but make sure you take your time out to to be to pamper yourself, to love on yourself, because the Queen of Pentacles externally, yes, she may be hardworking, she may be very good at managing things, she may be very dedicated and loyal and very on top of it, but she also knows her worth, and she knows that she needs to be on top of her game on making sure that she's good and making sure she's taken care of and healthy and loved on, so that way she can continue to do the best that she can without having to feel as though she is not taken care of to do, potentially pump out what she's projecting, if that makes sense. Pump out what she's feeling, rather. So if you feel good emotionally and internally, you will continue to do the good work that you're putting out. So everything's going to be, set in place. And you can feel good about, working as hard as you do, being very concentrated on whatever you're doing, and feeling good about whatever you're committed to, whether this is a relationship, a marriage, or just moving up in a sense of commitment here. Now, there's also justice here. So when it comes to sorting things out, it's good to kind of have communication and have conversations with your partner, especially if there's some situations that may need to be sorted out. So I do feel like that it is important to talk to your partner about any sort of discrepancies or any sort of misunderstandings or any sort of disagreements or situations that are unresolved. Because as long as you guys find a solution to make that situation more manageable, then you guys will be able to really enjoy the legacy that you're building and the commitment that you guys have with one another. Really enjoy you guys' company all together. Now, in the future, you have the Knight of Wands, and that energy, like I said, is about having fun, being more passionate, adding more passion into the relationship, going about it, and balance, right? You guys could be really working. Make sure you have fun in your situation. There's a lot of Pentacles going on. Even though the Ten of Pentacles is wonderful, it's a great outcome, it's not really reflecting fun. So you really want to be sure that you guys are enjoying your life and making sure that you are pampering yourself, as well as managing your responsibilities, taking care of your priorities, being career driven, etc., right? So future, showing fun, passion, all that wonderful stuff, and really feeling excited about the commitment that you have, the relationship that you have, the family that you have, the work, the career, whatever have you, right? Yourself, even feeling good about you. You want to enjoy what you have. And I feel like the important part is really, honestly having fun. Now, in the past here, or not in the past, internally when it comes to the future, I do get a sense that you may be feeling very nostalgic. You may be reconnecting with an old way of how you guys used to have fun, or connecting with old memories. And I feel like that those old memories can make you feel good, make you feel happy. Externally, though, you have the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords looks a little crazy, right? It looks a little iffy. Like you have, boom, amazing card. Like, boom, not too bad. Pretty good cards here. Freaking amazing cards here. And then you have a kind of like a shuffle here. And this is potentially because of the work that you have doing here. And externally, you may be exhausted, tired, and the worst stuff is over in regards to constantly working and potentially not having a lot of fun. Now, the worst is over, being that you have had the conversations needed. You've had the situation sorted, your legal situation sorted. You've had, things balanced out. Karma was put into place to make things balance. So the reason why the external is going to look like Ten of Swords is because you finally reached the ending of that. You finally put an end to whatever it was, and you're now recovering from that circumstance. And it's not, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's honestly more of a relief. And also, now, also be careful with this future as well, because you have the Knight of Wands, which is someone that could potentially, like I said before, be unreliable. They may have a hard time committing, and they may end up, you may externally be backstabbing you. But I don't know. I don't think it's the case, because the internal at the same time, because this is happening all at once, right, is a soulmate connection, is about feeling tied to someone and remembering the good times and remembering and having memories. So you may be conflicted about if this individual loves you, if there is a sense of betrayal here. But there is no guarantee of betrayal, so I want you guys to remember that. This could be that the worst is over from dealing with a situation with possibly someone that is a significant age difference, or dealing with a fire sign, or someone that you feel that is very passionate, exciting, and very driven on and keen on doing things that they feel very driven to do. They're also very creative as well. And finally coming with a consensus and a honestly closure with the situation, and you finally can put that to rest. So these are good memories. The Six of Cups will be like, yes, okay, we can finally get back to where we used to be. You're remembering the good times, the good old times, remembering the love that you guys shared with one another. And the worst externally is over, and you guys are being able to recover because you still have love from the past. Even you still have love despite how long ago you guys have been struggling potentially with getting the relationship back on track. Let's go ahead and look at your whispers of love before we wrap up the reading here. Alright, so you guys have love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. So the Queen of Pentacles is the one that commits, is very committed, and she's very driven to make whatever she's committed to work to the best of her ability. So I do feel like here it's all about how much love that you have that you're willing to exert onto your relationship. The commitment that you have, it shouldn't be an obligation. It should be what you guys feel emotionally and how you feel about the relationship. I'm not trying to say that that's not what you guys have already. You guys obviously do have a lot of love. You wouldn't have the passion necessary attached to it, as well as the cups in the future representing the past. But I do want you to understand, though, is that no matter what, you guys will find the solution to it. Okay, as long as you're determined, as long as you're working hard and really focusing on solutions, and have your boundaries, of course, and understanding your worth, I feel like you guys will be able to overcome the situation and begin to enjoy the relationship and the connection that you have. Okay, you may not be the same after this, though. I want you to understand that, especially your partner. There may be some differences, or there may be some changes. But as long as you remain dedicated to working through those issues or working through the karmic stuff that's going on, I really feel like you guys can get through. Now, for those of you that are actually getting married or getting engaged or moving up in a sense of commitment here, because this is contracts, and this is Libra, and Libra is about this, who's the ruler of the seventh house, which is relationships. So this contract of relationships could be potentially a marriage or moving up in a sense of commitment with you and your partner. That's not legal. That doesn't have to be legal. But I feel like if this is something about moving up, this is a good sign that through your hard work and through your dedication and through you communicating your truth, you can you can have a relationship that works and is stable for you at all times, at any time. Okay, but you have to know your worth, of course. Know your worth, and also correct situations, and will be willing to adjust situations that don't really benefit you or the relationship, if that makes sense.